Hello everyone, this is Showtime 112. When Israel declared independence in May 1948, a nucleus of the future Air Force already existed. A small number of civilian airplanes had been used by the Jewish militias for various purposes, but the first true combat aircraft only came about 1 week after the declaration in the form of Avia S-199. This was the Czech-built Messerschmitt Bf-109 with an inferior engine. Czechoslovakia was the only country prepared to sell weapons to the new Jewish state, and this would later be supplemented by much better Spitfires, but several other aircraft types were acquired through clandestine operations in the USA and some other countries. A large surplus of World War II combat aircraft existed, and they could be bought, but not by Israel, which was under a weapons embargo. It might surprise many of you, but the American administration at the time was very unsupportive of the Jewish state, and federal agencies did everything possible to stop any weapon shipment to Israel. Several transport aircraft and one B-17 were confiscated before they could reach their destination, but some made it through. This included two P-51 Mustangs which arrived on August the 19th on a freighter ship SS Enterprise. The initial cadre of Israeli Air Force fighter pilots consisted mostly of volunteers and mercenaries from countries such as the USA, UK, Canada, or South Africa. Some were Jewish, others were not. Only 2 of the pilots were local Jews, born and raised in the region. The first pilot to take a P-51 on a mission was Gideon Lichtman, an American who flew Mustangs in the Pacific Theater in World War II. It was October 2nd, 1948, and a truce was in effect, so the mission was supposed to be reconnaissance. Lichtman first took the Mustang to Lebanon, then flew towards Damascus, and finally south towards the coast of Egypt. There, he faced some heavy flak and he turned back north. He then spotted a fighter against the desert floor. It looked like a Sea Fury which Egypt wasn't supposed to have, but he was still sure it wasn't an Israeli airplane. As Lichtman approached, the enemy fighter turned and the fight began. The Arab fighter was flown very aggressively, but Lichtman eventually gained the advantage. He aimed and pressed the trigger, but nothing happened. His machine guns didn't work. Lichtman stayed behind the Fury until he could safely disengage towards the airfield at Herzliya. The fighter Lichtman fought really was a Sea Fury. One example was flown to Egypt by a Hawker test pilot to demonstrate it to the Egyptian Air Force. They liked it so much that they seized it and sent the pilot home. The Egyptian pilot who flew the Sea Fury and fought against Lichtmann's Mustang is believed to have been squadron leader Abu Zaid, one of the most capable Arab fighter pilots of the war. Another opportunity for the Israeli Mustangs to achieve an aerial victory came on November the 4th, when the two P-51s took off on a recon mission over Egyptian air bases in Sinai. The two Israeli pilots were Boris Sr. and Rudi Augarten. A truce was in effect again, so they were not supposed to attack Arab airplanes unless they were perceived as a threat. At one point, the South African-born flight leader Boris Sr. spotted a Dakota on final approach. These airplanes were often used as bombers, and this was apparently enough for him to interpret the rules so that he could attack it. Senior dived on the Egyptian transport and damaged it. Moments later, Augarten damaged it further and the Dakota crash-landed. Boris Sr. wrote in his memoirs that he didn't feel very proud about shooting down a defenseless transport airplane, but he learned later that nobody inside the airplane was killed. This was part 1 of our video, don't miss the part 2. If you liked the video, be sure to press the like button, which is an effective and simple way to help the channel. Join our Patreon supporters or donate on PayPal, because otherwise there might not be more content. Thank you and keep watching Showtime 112.